What's up guys, welcome to another video. This one's a special one. 10,000 subscribers. Hello.
I can't stop thinking about food. Cool, this is gonna be a good one.
10,000 subscribers. So this one is going to be a Q&A. I'm going to answer the most common questions that I get in my comments and my DMs. Nothing's off limits, a few bizarre ones, but that's about it. Let's get into it. First things first, I'm going to grab a coffee. Now, I said the video is actually 10K, but soon after we hit 10K, we actually hit 15K overnight. So this is the 10K Q&A. However, between making the decision to do the Q&A and coming here today to film, we're actually at 15K. So make of that what you will. But what I've done, guys, is I've gathered some of the most common questions and themes of what I get in the comments and the DMs, and I've put them down on a sheet and I want to address them today because comments are great, short form's great on Instagram, but this is where I want to get a deeper connection with you guys and actually answer the ones that you have been consistently asking me. So here we go, we're going to split it into a few different sections. I'm going to do a more specific sports and running one video in a separate video, so I'm not going to address too many of those questions in this one. I'm not going to go as deep on that as some of you may like, but I am going to do another video on that, so don't worry. I mean, obviously a lot of you are new here, so it's probably worth me starting with a little bit about myself and my story. I'll give you the kind of Tinder profile stats of myself. I'm 30 years old, I'm a guy, I live in Hong Kong, I'm from the UK, I used to be a professional rugby player, and now I'm a content creator and I work for myself and running my own business. I'm also 93 kilos and 6 foot. But not that anyone cares. I've been in Hong Kong for over 5 years now. I used to be a professional athlete in my first career from the UK. For those new subscribers here, welcome to the channel. It's amazing to have you here, but that's a little bit about myself, a bit of context before heading into the Q&A. Okay, what else have we got? I've got my list of questions here on my laptop. How did I go from professional rugby to a content creator? Wow. Well, I don't want to make this video too long because it's got quite a long answer, but it was during COVID. I was a professional athlete in the UK. My contract finished just as COVID started. I was meant to go play in France. I was trying to get a contract in France, a professional rugby contract. That didn't happen, whether it was because I wasn't good enough or because of what they told me it was because of COVID, but you never know, and I'll never know. And then randomly a team in Hong Kong reached out to me and said, oh, we hear you're on the market. Have you ever thought about moving to Hong Kong? And would you be interested to come and play for our team here? And I'd never, ever thought about it in my life. I didn't really have many other options. My other choice was to go to London and get a real job, which I didn't really want to do. So I said, yeah, let's do it. Signed a 1-year contract, really good contract. They brought me over here. And then unfortunately, the rugby didn't kind of work out. I had to retire within about a year because I had a lot of concussions. But that's what originally brought me over to Hong Kong. And then in terms of being a content creator, I had a few jobs. I worked at a bank, I worked in a startup company in tech, and then I worked at a slightly bigger company in tech as well. So 3 different companies before making the decision to quit my job and work for myself. There you go, next question. Why did I quit my job in tech? Well, it wasn't really what I wanted to do long term, and it came at a time in my life where I was at a crossroads somewhat. I don't think I was a really good fit for the company, to be honest, and they'll probably agree. I'm a big fan of hard work and everything and long hours, and I don't mind doing that. But it got to a stage where I kind of said to myself, if I'm going to be doing this and working weekends and long hours into the night, I want to be working on my dream and not someone else's dream. To put a long story short, that was basically it. And it was a very scary decision to quit my job. It was a decision that my wife and I made together. I had to have her on board. That was absolutely important, paramount to making the decision. And yeah, it came at a point in time in life where I realized life's too short. I could see myself not making the decision, and then in 30 years time, regretting never betting on myself and doing my own thing. And it's been 9 months since then, and here we are today, hitting 15,000 subs. And that's what it's all about, right? Next question, what has been your biggest challenge since working for yourself? I'm going to be very transparent with you guys. Probably the biggest challenge is starting from $0 every month. It's an obvious one, but I don't have a salary. So I don't get paid consistently every month unless I go out and get that money and deserve and earn that money. So that's probably the biggest challenge. You know, there are days at my old company where I was very well paid. It was a very good job. You know, there are times when you wouldn't be giving 100% maybe, or you could go on holiday and you'd still get paid, or if you got ill, you'd still get paid. Even simple things, right? Like if you go out drinking on the weekend and you're hungover on Monday, you're still getting paid. So that was knowing the consistent level of income that I was getting. That's probably the hardest thing that I've had since working for myself. However, it's also one of the exciting things, because yes, you might start from zero every month, but there's also no ceiling on what you can potentially earn. You don't know what you're going to earn every month or every 6 months. However, the potential is also very, very high in terms of your earning potential. If you weren't doing this, what would you be doing right now? Well, I think I've answered that. I'd probably be still working in an office job or a corporate job. Not that I would want to be. I would love to still be doing like professional athlete stuff, which is why I train so hard and enter so many competitions. I think I somewhat took the professional life for granted when I was a pro athlete. What's the one thing you wish you knew before starting YouTube? One thing I wish I knew was maybe about YouTube Shorts, actually, if I were to give some specific advice. I started doing YouTube and I was just posting the long form videos, which was a huge step for me. But actually I wish I just started posting on YouTube Shorts a long time ago. Cross post, because that's what I do now. I post all my stuff on Instagram across on YouTube Shorts and you reach a different audience, and I do the same on TikTok. I alter it slightly, but I didn't do that for a long, long time, stupidly. I was putting in all this work and doing all this editing, but I wasn't posting on YouTube Shorts. And I've had a lot of success on YouTube Shorts. So that's one thing I wish I knew before starting YouTube. Now, just a quick break. I really wanted to film this video at my house, at home, but it has been miserable in Hong Kong recently. The weather here in summer, especially this summer, has been so bad. I'm gonna show you the window. Now, you can't really see out, but it's just pissing down with rain. And it has been all morning, all week. For the last like 3 weeks, it's been horrific. But I'm in one of my coffee shops here. It's called Soft Thunder. I've done a couple of videos here before on my YouTube, which you might recognize if you have subscribed for a while. But obviously a lot of you are new here. And so I didn't want to film at home today because the lighting was so bad and you could actually hear the thunder and lightning. Whereas here, it's a bit more of a vibe. But it is testing my social anxiety, talking into a camera in a coffee shop. So, anyway. Okay, next section. What is your morning routine really? Come on, guys. Do you honestly think I'm lying to you? My morning routine is what I put online. It is, I love it. I love my morning routine. I've got videos about this as well, which I'll connect here, which you can look at, which explains a bit more about my morning routine. But basically I wake up at around 5:45 every morning. First thing I do is do some laundry. Normally I do some housework, get all that stuff on the go, and then I do some movement. So I'll run, I'll go to the gym, whatever's I've got planned for that day in terms of training sessions, that's what I'll do first thing. By around 7:30, I've already ticked off a session. So this morning, for example, I had a tempo run, and because of the rain, I ended up doing it on a treadmill, which was horrific. I hate treadmill runs. And then I come back, I shower, I do the rest of the laundry and the dishes and things like that. I have breakfast with my wife, and we get ready for the day. And then I'm normally in the office by around 8:30 if I come to the office. Sometimes I work from home and do filming and content stuff, but that is my morning routine. How do you stay in shape whilst traveling so much? With difficulty, but ultimately I've built up quite a lot of habits over the years. I've been living this kind of athlete lifestyle now for the last 15 years really, and traveling is kind of just a new element of that, which has come in the last 5 years since being in Hong Kong. Don't get me wrong, I'm no monk. I love food, I love enjoying life, I love restaurants. So when I'm on holiday or when I'm allowing myself to take a break, I really do take a break. But I'm always in a constant state of movement and training. I don't really like taking a break from training too much if I'm on holiday. I like running in the mornings, I like testing the hotel gyms. I've had another video on that. But it's kind of just a balance, and having these habits which are now a massive part of my life, which I wouldn't want to lose. I love training, I love that part of my lifestyle. And then also it's just about managing, it's letting yourself enjoy the things, not feeling guilty. And then getting back on track when you get back home and in your routine. Easier said than done, I know, but takes practice. What's the weirdest DM you've ever received? God, how long have you got? There's a theme in my DMs sometimes. A lot of people just tell me how boring I am and how bad my life looks, and oh God, it's crazy. I find it crazy what people are willing to put online and put their name to on a comment online. Like seriously. But I don't mind. I'd say I've got pretty thick skin. DMs wise, obviously you get quite a few weird ones, like asking for dirty socks and dirty underwear and if I do OnlyFans and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, I'd say that's the theme of them. If I accidentally put my feet in a video or a training video, I'll always get comments about people that have a weird feet thing. But hey, each to their own, I guess. I get a lot of questions about my actual content creation and being a content creator and my process, because I think a lot of people are wanting to start, just like me. A year and a half ago, I wanted to start. I had no idea where to start. So I've got a few of these questions. How do you come up with ideas to film so frequently? Great question. And it was one when I started I really, really struggled with. Fun fact, before I actually started posting content, I actually made a Google spreadsheet and I put 60 video ideas in a Google spreadsheet with a theme, whether that was like training, lifestyle, travel, work, rugby, and I tried to categorize them and I tried to make the video ideas unique to my life, because I thought I had quite a unique story up to that point. Like, professional athlete, moved to the other side of the world, trying to post content, doing all this other stuff, emceeing as well. So I had quite a few different unique things in my life which I thought people might be interested in. Before I even started, I had like 60 ideas. What I realized is that actually to come up with ideas, you just need to be creative and get creative. I speak to a lot of my coaching clients and they say, my life's not entertaining enough. My life's so boring. It's not very aesthetic. I mean, guys, look at some of my content. It's some of these. There's a reason I get called boring all the time. People just want insights into your life and authenticity. I think, anyway, that's what I try and do. So I just try and remain authentic, whatever happens. If you've been following me for a while, you'll know that even when I'm having a great week, I'll share it with you guys and I'll share what happened and I'll share some lessons. But also when I'm having a really bad low week or low day, low month, I'll share it with you guys. I never want to pretend that everything's sunshine and rainbows, because it's really, really not. I really don't want people who follow me or subscribe to my channel to think that everything is perfect and everything's great all the time, because I never wanted to be one of those creators or influencers, I hate that word, who pretend that everything's all good all the time, because that's not life. That's not life. God, I'm digressing. Do you ever get nervous interviewing big guests on Abnormal, which is my podcast? Yes, I do. I am human. However, what I will say is I'm close to 50 episodes in now of the podcast. It just gets easier and easier every time, especially having done the prep and the homework before every episode. For me, if I'm prepared for anything in life, then the nerves immediately dissipate. The ones that I'm not as prepared for, or any meeting that I'm not as prepared for, then I'm nervous for, because I haven't done the preparation. But honestly, the podcast, I love it. I absolutely love it. It's been such a revelation for me to speak to these people, these amazing people with amazing stories, and they just inspire me every single episode, and I learn so much from them. If you haven't already, check it out. I'll leave a link for it in the description. But it's really cool. I really enjoy it. And obviously some of you guys subscribe to me because of the podcast, and I really, really do appreciate that. So thank you. What's next for the channel? Any big projects? Well, guys, what is next for the channel? It's getting quite loud in here. Hang on. Well, first of all, for myself, I want to be more consistent. I do a podcast every week, but the YouTube videos like this, I want to be more consistent with, which I'm going to do. I don't have any massive projects on the horizon, to be very honest with you. I've got a lot of travels coming up and international work, which is really cool. But honestly, for me, the plan is just to bring you guys along with me and take you along for the ride and show you the lessons that I learn along the way, give you insights, and hopefully help you if you're going through a journey similar, or if you just find it interesting. I just really want to be more consistent with my sharing, and obviously try and get better and better at it. Better editing, better quality video, better storytelling. So no massive projects. I'd say my life is a massive project at the moment, trying to make this whole working for yourself thing work. And YouTube is just a great way for me to document that and bring you along for the ride. One of the areas that all of you, or a lot of you, want to know is where I actually live. And as I said at the start of the video, I currently live in Hong Kong. That's where my base is. However, I do travel around a lot. I spend a lot of time in France, in Europe, because that's where my wife is from, and we often spend parts of the year there. But a lot of you want to know more about Hong Kong. My favorite thing about Hong Kong, well, there are so many things that I love about Hong Kong, but my favorite thing is probably the travel. The ability to travel from Hong Kong is unmatched. It's like nothing I've ever experienced. The airport is incredible. Some of the countries that I've traveled to and some of the weekends that I've had have been life-changing. You don't even need to take too much holiday. You can just take a long weekend and go to Thailand, Vietnam, Taiwan, Japan. There's so many countries on your doorstep, and Hong Kong is a beautiful, beautiful place itself. But I love the fact that it lends itself to the ability to travel. And then I guess if I had to say one about Hong Kong itself, it's probably the diversity in climate, in terms of like currently I'm in a cafe in the middle of the city, for example, and that's where all the offices are and such, and all my meetings. However, last weekend I went out on a boat party. We went around the islands. It's called a junk here in Hong Kong. It's basically a boat party. There's so many hikes and things to do in Hong Kong. It's just so beautiful. This is the part that no one really talks about when you think of Hong Kong. You just think of the skyline and the big bustling city and the work culture and all that sort of stuff. But I guess that's my favorite thing about Hong Kong. And then another one I get asked is about money. How expensive is it to live in Hong Kong? And to be honest with you, it is expensive. I'm not going to lie. It is expensive, but also you tend to earn more money in Hong Kong. Like on average, you look at all the studies, Hong Kong, you have relatively high earners compared to the rest of the world. The rent is probably the most expensive thing here in Hong Kong. Probably similar to London prices. I've got a lot of friends in London and it's probably similar to London prices. And then living costs, it's again similar to London, I'd say. The food here is quite expensive if you want to eat like a Westerner. So myself, for example, obviously I like Western food, but that means it's all imported. So you pay the imports and all that. The fee is a lot higher. There's Marks and Spencer's here, for example, but the food there is very expensive. If you want to eat more Asian food, then it's a lot cheaper. Naturally, you can go to the markets and all that sort of stuff. And if you know where to go, it can be a lot cheaper. Like when I first moved here, I was just buying Deliveroos and going to Marks and Spencer's, and I was like, what am I doing? This is so expensive. And then now, when I do cook for myself, I go to the meat markets, frozen meat places that deliver me food. I know where to get the cheap vegetables. So there are ways around it. And I think the longer you live here and the more you get out there and experience it, the more ways you find to save money, basically. And then another thing is public transport is super cheap here, which you can't say about a lot of other places in Europe in particular. The public transport here is really, really, really good. It's rare to own your own car here if you're someone like myself. A lot of people just rely on public transport, and honestly, there's not one time in my 5 years here in Hong Kong that I've wished that I've had a car. So that tells you a lot. And then I don't know if this is one from all of you or more just my mum and my family and my friends. Are you going to live in Hong Kong forever? It's probably my mum just on some burner accounts commenting on my YouTube. Never say never. For now, I love it. And more, I love the life of moving around. So we're not, as I said, we're based in Hong Kong, but we have a lot of opportunities to travel around and work from abroad. I'm currently trying to build my family's dream life, which is to have the ultimate freedom to move around and to do exactly what we want and as we please, so that we're not committed to working in an office or staying in one location. I want ultimate freedom, financial freedom, geographical freedom to work with whoever I want, whenever I want. So as part of that is being able to live wherever you want, I suppose. And if we want to live in Hong Kong for 8 months of the year and then in France for 4 months of the year, that's kind of what I'm building towards, and that's one of the reasons why I'm doing what I'm doing. But honestly, like, say what you will about Hong Kong, and for those of you that know it, but I absolutely love it. I can't fault my experiences here in the last 5 years, and I always get DMs and questions of people looking at moving over and whatever, and I wish I could reply to all of them, I really do. But honestly, the best thing to do is just come out here, even if it's just for a holiday before you move here fully, to experience it for yourself. I do find the Hong Kong way of life slightly addictive, to be honest. I love how productive I am here. I love how much I can do. I love the opportunities that you have here if you want to go out and get them. So I would recommend anyone to come out just for a holiday to see if you like it first, which is not what I did. I had never visited Hong Kong and I just moved my life here. But don't do what I did. And just like that, guys, that is the Q&A done and dusted. Now, as I said, these are just some of the questions, the most common questions that I get on my comments and the DMs that I receive. And I just wanted to address them in a deeper manner and hopefully give you as much detail as possible about the topics that you want to know more about. If you did like the video, please give it a like, give it a subscribe. Let's see if we can get to that 20k mark, which is insane. I didn't say this at the start, but I remember posting a video to my Instagram being like, guys, I just hit 1,000 subs on YouTube. which means I can be monetized and my channel can be monetized. What the hell? Because I just started the channel and then all of you just came flooding in and I thought 1,000 was insane, which it is insane. And now fast forward 6 months later, I actually say we're on 15,000. I'm coming up to 17,000. And I know these are ego metrics and not ones that I should get carried away with, but I find it really cool and I've only got you guys to thank for that. So thank you again. I hope you enjoyed the Q&A, and please, if I've missed out any questions, leave them down below in the comments and I'll be sure to address them in the comments or in another video. I'm going to do another video more based around health and fitness and running because I know a lot of you guys want to know stuff about that as well. But I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you for everything. You really are making this possible for me and showing me that the persistence is paying off, the consistency is paying off. So thank you. On that note, I'm going to finish my coffee, crack on with some editing, and I will see you in the next one.